Let us do together a meditation. Visualizing this line represent time. We have a dualistic way of thinking about time and space. But time and space, they interact. You cannot take time out of space and vice versa. You cannot even take matter out of space and space out of matter. And if we touch the nature of interbeing, we have another way of thinking, which is right thinking, and it will save a lot of time. Suppose we take this point of time to be our birth. And then we will believe that we begin to exist only from point B. So the segment ending with B represent your non-existence, non-being. You were not there. You begin here and you continue to be from B on. And this segment beginning from B, you call it being. And you continue to be until you come to a point that's called D. And when you come to the point D, you stop being and you enter the realm of non-being again. That is the way of thinking many of us have. That to be born means from nothing you become something. From no one you become someone. And the birth certificate is a proof of that belief. And death means from something you become nothing. From someone you become no one. And that is considered by the Buddha as wrong thinking, wrong view. Wrong thinking comes from wrong view. When we meditate on a cloud, we may ask ourselves, what is when does it take place, the time of the birth of a cloud? Can we speak about the birth of a cloud? The moment when the cloud from non-being become being. And you can see very well that before expressing herself as a cloud, the cloud had been something else already. Before expressing herself in the form of a cloud, the cloud had been water in the ocean, in the lakes, in the heat of the sunshine, in the steam, in the water vapor. So it is not true to say that the cloud has come from the realm of non-being. No. And that is why the birthday is only a continuation day. The nature of the cloud is nature of no birth, because the cloud has not come from non-being into being. And when we say the cloud has died, because we don't see the cloud anymore, and we believe that the cloud has come from the realm of being into the realm of non-being, and we cry. We are caught by our grief because our beloved cloud is no longer there. But in fact, we know that a cloud cannot become nothing. A cloud can only become the rain or the snow or the hail and so on. So we know that the nature of the cloud is the nature of no death, no birth and no death. And that goes along very well with the first law of thermodynamics. There is no creation, there is no destruction, there is no birth and no death. If you believe that there is a beginning of the cosmos, you can create a theory like a Big Bang. But if there is a Big Bang, there should be later on a big crunch. So looking into the nature of the cloud, we see that the true nature of a cloud is the nature of no birth and no death. So underneath the conventional truth, with birth and death, we see the ground of no birth and no death. Not only for our cloud, but for everything else. Our nature is nature of no birth and no death. And that is a concentration that helps you to touch the nature of no birth and no death. And if we can uproot the notion of birth and death, we uproot the same time the notion of being and non-being. Because birth means from non-being you become being. And death means from being you become non-being. So when you uproot the notion of birth and death, you uproot the notion of being and non-being. That is why the Buddha has said that right view is the insight that is free from the notion of being and non-being. When we speak about God, we have to be careful. You should not say God exists or God does not exist. Because God is the ultimate. You cannot ascribe to God the notion of being or non-being. And there are theologians who say that God is the ground of being, like Paul Tillich. You may ask him, if God is the ground of being, and who will be the ground of non-being? So to say God does not exist is wrong, but to say that God exists is equally wrong, because you cannot use the notion of being and non-being to describe God. And that is ultimate, that is equal to nirvana, and nirvana is the absence of all notions, including the notion of birth and death, being and non-being. And when we are born as a person or as a cloud, they say that we have come. But let us play a little bit with the flame. We know the flame is somewhere there. It's hidden somewhere. You can talk to the flame. You cannot describe the flame or as being or non-being. Before it manifests as a flame, you cannot tell that it does not exist. It belongs to the realm of being. And when she manifests as a flame, you cannot either say that she belongs to the realm of being, because not only a cloud cannot be described as in terms of being and non-being. Not only God cannot be spoken of in terms of being and non-being, but also the flame, a flame. So we can say that, my dear cloud, I don't think that you belong to the realm of non-being. You are in the realm of interbeing. And when conditions are sufficient, you manifest. There is not a birth, that is only a manifestation. You are not, darling, you are not a creation. You are only a manifestation, a wonderful manifestation. And if you don't manifest in this form, you manifest in another form. Darling, it's impossible for you to die. If I am mindful, concentrated, I can still recognize your presence in another form. I should not cry. So he can talk to the flame already. My dear little flame, I know you are there somewhere. Manifest for us. And the flame say, dear Thầy, dear Sangha, I am ready to manifest for you. All conditions seem to be sufficient except the last one. So we are providing the flame with last condition. She manifests. So beautiful. And we like to ask the flame, my dear little beautiful flame, where have you come from? This is about coming and going. And the flame will answer like this. Dear Thầy, dear Sangha, I have come from nowhere. My nature is no coming. I have not come from the south. I have not come from the north either. I have not come from the east or the west. My nature is no coming. Non-local. When conditions are sufficient, I manifest. And we know that the flame has told us the truth. Her nature is no coming. And we may ask, dear little flame, we miss you. Where have you gone? And the flame answer, dear Thầy, dear Sangha, I have not gone anywhere. I have not gone to the south, not to the north, not to the east, not to the west. When conditions are no longer sufficient, I stop manifestation in order to manifest otherwise. And that is true. If we have observed, we will see that during her brief manifestation, she has taken many forms. Like during our brief manifestation on this earth, we have created thought, speech, and action. So during that few seconds, the flame has created a beautiful image that has penetrated into all of us. That flame has created the heat that has entered the cosmos. That flame has created some smoke that go up to become part of a cloud. So she is continued by her action. During her brief manifestation, she has produced action, and she continues in us and around us. Nothing is lost. So the flame has not died. The flame continues always with those who know how to meditate. So not only God, not only the cloud, not only the flame have the nature of no birth and no death, but that true nature is no coming, no going. And now we come to the fourth pair of opposite, which is sameness or otherness. We have a second flame, and we ask this flame whether she she is the same with the other flame, or she is another flame. If we keep the candle here and we go out for 15 minutes and we go back, we can ask the same question. Are you the same flame that I saw when I left? Or you are a different flame already? And that is the question we can ask. And the flame can tell you that, dear Thầy, dear Sangha, I am neither the same with the other flame. And I am not a totally different flame either. That is the answer. Neither the same or a different flame. That is the teaching of the Buddha. That is the teaching of the middle way. You transcend the notion of sameness and otherness, and you touch the nature of no self. When you look into the album and at your picture when you were 3 years old, you see that little boy, that little girl, very vulnerable, fragile, and you ask yourself whether you are the same person with that little child. And the answer is the same. You are not the same because you are so different. You have grown up into an adult. Your form, your feelings, your mental formation, your perceptions are entirely different. So you are not the same person with that little boy or little girl. But you are not a different person either, because you are a continuation of that child. So the reality is that everything is impermanent. Nothing can be the same in 2 consecutive moments. That is why, although you are not the same, you are not an entirely different person either. So nirvana is the ultimate truth that transcends all kinds of notions, including the notions of being and non-being, birth and death, coming and going, sameness or otherness. And if we don't let go of these notions, we can never touch the ultimate. And touching the ultimate make you free of fear of being born, fear of dying.